Hello and welcome to the trade setup. In this video we are looking at Lightbridge. It is time for another update, and today we will be discussing the failure to hold here the relevant areas of support for direct extension to the upside, as well as the extremely bearish implications of failing to create this movement to the upside in a direct fashion. Now, before we get there, I would like to go quickly through the larger time frame for any of you who might be new. And also, I wanted to mention that this was a stock analysis request from a couple of viewers, and I wanted to let you know that anyone can make these requests, and I will most likely cover them, especially if there is an actionable trade setup to follow. Now, on this chart, on the large time frame, we are tracking a quite seriously active downtrend going on, because in this pattern I don't have any clear movement to the upside that would suggest a possible clear bottom here within this large downtrend that has been going on. Now, within this structure, we have many scenarios that could still work out that would allow further extensions even lower to new all-time lows, and we have to be very much aware of them. Now, I won't be going through all of the scenarios. We will be tracking this as a primary scenario where we are looking here at a wave 1 down, a wave 2 up, and here an A wave down, part of a larger wave 3, a B wave unfolding even now still possibly, and then a C wave that could start taking us to new lows from this area. We have this large area of resistance we need to watch out for, and as long as we don't break above the relevant areas, above the 78.6% retracement, for example, or at least get a 5-wave move structure to the upside, we don't have any reliable indication that we have indeed formed a more significant bottom, even though we only have a 3-wave pattern to the downside. Now, that is mainly due to the structure that has really formed from this all-time low, which so far we only have in this wave 1 to the upside. This is a different scenario. This is the white scenario in which we are tracking a possible leading diagonal, but we only have an ABC structure in this wave 1, and we are tracking a leading diagonal exactly for that reason. This is the only interpretation that really would have bullish interpretations worth tracking to really work out, or that could really work out anyway. And then we were looking for the correction in the wave 2, but since it is a diagonal pattern, we needed to see an ABC structure in the 3rd wave as well. And for that, we were tracking here in the short time frame a possible A wave top here, where we would have allowed here as, even as an impulse, it might have worked out in this area, and then a B wave down, and we were looking for the C wave to the upside. Now, the wave C must have a 5-wave structure, which clearly this was not achieved. We were looking for a 1, 2, 3 to be unfolding in this area, and it clearly failed. We even failed to work out within the backup interpretation we had here as support in green, but already breaking the 50% retracement was a clear signal that this structure was likely to fail. Now, we managed to push actually a bit higher, so this would have needed to be adjusted slightly, but in the end, it is the same indication. We fell here into the 50% retracement. We attempted to push higher, but then failed miserably and pushed directly and invalidated any type of an extension that we could really be tracking here reliably within a wave C. Now, in that case, I don't really have many other options in this area, in this small time frame, except to consider that this was instead the larger wave A, and that we need to be watching out for an additional wave B before we can extend higher directly into the wave C. And you may be thinking, okay, but why can this not be the 3rd wave to the upside? Well, in the 3rd wave right now, we need to build an ABC structure, and it must be an impulse. This can really work out as a 5-wave move within a diagonal pattern in a 1, 2, 3, 4th, and a 5th. I have a 5-wave pattern, a leading diagonal within the wave A. We want to see this develop here on the larger time frame, similarly in a 1, 2, 3rd, 4th, and the 5th. We want to see a similar pattern develop in this area. But since we have already formed here in the wave 1, in this wave 1, we have a 3-wave move to the upside. Well, this doesn't need to be a wave 1. It could easily be a wave A to the upside. We could have here a wave B, and then a C wave is now available for us to be tracking. Since we cannot be tracking direct extensions higher, we can track this as a wave C. Well, this isn't part of the bullish interpretation that we are tracking in white. No, this is part of the bearish scenarios which allow extensions to new all-time lows, where in the case of the movement here, a larger wave 3 for example, we have the A wave down. Now we have a B wave up complete, where I don't need any further extension, any local additional higher highs. I don't need them. I could already start looking for the wave C to the downside. And this is just one of the scenarios, because in a wave B, in an ABC pattern, we may even push higher into the area of resistance. Maybe this is something like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th. Maybe it is a smaller ABC going in this area. After all, many interpretations are available that would allow us to not need to extend higher, and even within the wave B, even within this ABC, we have pushed into the area of resistance. Even in that scenario, we don't need to push higher in the wave B. But what I want you to focus on is the high risk of having a full pattern within this correction and being prepared for further extensions to new all-time lows, which is why I cannot really recommend being active in a long position on this chart anymore. And even though it may still work out, this may still succeed. Maybe the sentiment shifts and this area holds here for a possible ABC movement to the upside, but until we get further evidence, I cannot really recommend, even though we still have a lot of room within the area of support that we can be tracking here for the wave B. In fact, we haven't even reached yet the area of support. I cannot be recommending looking for a position within this pattern, at least not yet, not until we get some evidence that after here the correction in the wave B, maybe we get a tiny 5-wave move to the upside. Well, that may be interesting. That may be a good signal for at least a small 1-2 setup that could get a third wave to the upside, but if not, it may at least get an ABC pattern that could still allow some profits. But from the large time frame perspective, I have full count here within the wave B in yellow, and I am watching out for further extensions into the wave C to the downside, where we could be looking for all-time lows to quite high proportions. For example, if this really is an ABC movement, well, the 100% extension would be the ideal target for the wave C, and you can tell how deep that is already. It would probably be 99% drop from here. So in the same way it has been in a downtrend before, I am afraid for this chart the downtrend is still a looming risk that is actually flying above us right now. Now, if you want, we can check out the smaller time frame here a bit in this correction, in this possible wave B, but nothing too clear yet. It is in a very, very short time frame, and this structure isn't suggesting any bottom to have formed just yet. Now, you could be looking for maybe an ABC movement that could be developing in this area. Seems like a likely interpretation to work out, since the only clear aspect is that this movement is a 3-wave pattern to the downside, which means that we aren't necessarily tracking an impulse. Even if it forms as a larger 5-wave move, then things to watch out for, well, I would actually be prepared for further extensions lower directly within this movement. And then if we form something like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th, I would be watching out for a larger 1-2 setup that could be even the initial 1-2 setup of this wave C to the downside in yellow, where we could have already started the wave C again. We could already be in our large downtrend, taking us to new all-time lows. And for now, you have the area of support between the $11.3 all the way down to the $3.9, where then if we break the 78.6% retracement, that would be an even greater signal that this structure, this ABC movement to the upside will fail. But we need to be patient, and we should probably be extra careful on this chart and watch more from the sidelines than in an active long position anyway. But for now, these are the levels. This is the trade setup. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, don't forget to subscribe and let me know what else you want me to cover, and I'll do my best to do that in the days and weeks ahead. And until then, I hope you have a nice day, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.